Welcome to Ask Shannon, a place for grace, where one mother's passion and determination for her child, diagnosed with a rare disease, was suddenly faced with saving the life of her special needs child. This became her only focus. When the life of her child was threatened, Shannon Kinnett's instincts led her away from conventional medicine. She desperately found an alternative, natural approach, and the outcome was astounding. Shannon shares her knowledge and Grace's story, now full of hope and happiness.
And now, Shannon Kennett.
I get a lot of parents asking me how I do this and how I'm able to work at the same time. My first reaction to that question is, how does any of us do it? Even with typical kids, how do we do it? When you have a special needs child, of course, it's going to be much more challenging. And believe me, I haven't always had it all together when it comes to this arena. And because of what I do for a living, I do travel a lot. And I remember years ago leaving Grace and Lily and just being a nervous wreck and like calling every 5 minutes. And it just wasn't worth the time being away from them because I wasn't really able to do my job because I was worried about them. So I put a few things in place that help me, and hopefully they can help you. The first thing that I would suggest is that you really have to have a supportive team, obviously, around you. So how I ended up being able to do that is I found therapists through different types of websites at the universities and people that I really kind of like. When I started interviewing them to take care of my kids, I did little techniques like watched them before I came down. I had somebody talking to them first. I looked to see if maybe they were on Grace's level, especially when she was in her wheelchair, if they bent down to her. And so once I got a feel for the people and I hired them, I knew that I had that team in place, at least for Grace, that I knew that her therapy team was in place and I would feel comfortable leaving them. The other thing is that you have to feel comfortable with everything in your life. So you need to have a routine. I was comfortable with the physicians that I had in place, meaning that when I was on the road and if something happened to Grace, I didn't panic. I knew that I could place a phone call, that I could call a doctor and say, listen, I'm on the road. This is what's going on with Grace. Can you help me? And I made my team a part of that. So everybody that's involved in Grace's life, from her therapist to my mom and dad to her sister to her aunts and uncles, everybody knows everything. And I suggest keeping a notebook. That's, we have the Grace binder, we call it. And not just do we keep the fun things that happen when I'm gone and they keep documentation of it, but we have a list of all the numbers, every place I'm going, who I'm with in case they can't get a hold of me. And that just makes me feel so much more comfortable knowing that no matter where I'm at in this world, and I travel out of the country too, that somebody will be able to get a hold of me or somebody that I'm with. And that makes it a lot easier for me to leave. Another thing that you need to make sure of is that you just have everything in place. And I know it's difficult. It's difficult when you have two people helping in the household. It's a little bit more challenging when you have one person, but you can do it. You just have to find it from within to be organized, to make sure that you have everything taken care of before you leave, so that when you do happen to leave, and I'm saying this even if it's not for work, if you and your, want to go on a vacation with your friends, or if you want to take a vacation with your, husband or your wife, that you feel comfortable and confident leaving your child. And I think that's one of the things that most of us don't. And I can truly say that in the beginning, I didn't leave Grace. And like I said, when I first did this, it was hit or miss. And I would come home early from a trip because I was so, nervous, and nobody can take better care of Grace than me. And though I still believe that's true, that I am Grace's best caretaker, I also know that Grace is in safe hands, as is Lily, when I leave because of the things that I put in place. So just, yourself better than anybody. And you just have to find that power within you to say, okay, I have to leave because I have no choice. I am a single mom and I don't have a choice. I have to work. And sometimes I may be working 2 or 3 jobs at one time. And so I know that when I'm gone, I need to make sure that I have everything in place so that my girls have a great time when I'm gone. I can concentrate on work and I can know that they're safe and they're being taken care of. So just use those little simple pointers. Keep a binder, have the phone logs, be comfortable with the physicians that your children are seeing so that if something does happen, you can just make a phone call and you don't get into that panic mode. Make sure that the team that you have around you is there, and make sure that all the people that are around you have the same support that you would give your own child or children when you're not there. So don't put somebody in a position to take care of your children if you're not comfortable with them, because maybe they don't have your same beliefs and views, because you're going to go stir crazy. I can promise you that. If you're thinking that somebody's slipping your child some gluten when you're on the road, you're going to be a nervous wreck and you're not going to want to leave. So once again, it just comes back to finding out who you are, knowing that you have the capability of doing this. And for those of us that have no choice but to leave our children because we have to work so that we can provide for our children, know that what you're doing is in the best interest of your child, and pick those people wisely. And at the end of the day, we pick them. I choose who's in my home with my children. And there's lots of fun little techniques, and you can certainly contact me at shannonandgrace.com, and I can tell you some of the little secret types of things that I do when I have maybe somebody come and sit in my living room, and I have the therapist that is working with Grace there now, and they're talking, and they don't know that I'm in the kitchen, and I'm kind of lurking around to see what's going on and so forth, because how somebody interacts with my child when I'm not watching is really what's most important. And definitely tune in to my show later in the month, because we are going to talk about daycare and how you find a great care provider and how you go about doing all those things. But at the end of the day, believe in yourself, put yourself around positive people, find that inner strength that you have, and I know that you have it. We all have it. We don't know we have it until we're forced to find it. And if you put all those steps in place, you're going to feel comfortable leaving your child.
Please share this information with anyone who is facing special needs or health concerns at any age. Shannon's goal is to help as many people and parents as possible. If she can save you any heartache sharing the knowledge of what she has learned, that saved her daughter's life, and possibly save you tens to even hundreds of thousands of dollars in resources that she spent, her goal is accomplished. Please visit shannonandgrace.com for continued updates and free resources. Send her an email with your questions. Subscribe to her YouTube channel. She is here to help you and will do all she can to assist.